We'll start with a small prayer. Sahana vavatu, sahano bhunaktu, saha viryam karavavahai, tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. This is the second and concluding part of our discussion on a very important topic, a topic close to my heart, which is relationships in the family, and how do we bring up our child in this context, in the context of the family. So in our previous session, we have discussed a few important aspects of what is a family, and we began with the goal in mind, the purpose of human life, and we spoke about the four purusharthas and how the ultimate goal of life is moksha prapti. And in this light, we have discussed some aspects of swadharma, and there was a homework also of identifying your swadharma, identifying your family members, what is your duty towards each of them, and what do they mean to you in your life. I hope most of you have done this homework. This homework was for your personal purposes, for your personal reflections. And we discussed the various benefits that the family provides us. Then we have listed it in various brackets, including emotional benefit. When I'm sad, when I'm looking for love, family provides me that. Financial stability, our day-to-day expenses are met by the family. There is the need for in distress, in whenever we are down, whenever we are in a difficult situation, we find the values of our family, the moral guidance is met by the family. We spoke about wherever we go, we come back we come back home, we come back to the family. There's a sense of belongingness. I belong here, I belong in my family. My family gives me a status, my family gives me recognition, a title, a role. Yeah, the family gives me a lot of love. So this is a sense of belongingness. And then there is learning. We learn about our cultural aspects, our traditions. They are passed on from generation to generation. A small child learns the complex things such as language and many different things. How to respect elders, how to eat, how to drink, how to behave, how to deal with others, how to every how is met by the family, is taught by the family. So we have discussed at length about the family, and I was speaking to you about the subtle benefits of a family. So I would like to I thought I did not do justice to this topic in my previous session. So I would like to briefly speak about this aspect of subtle benefits of being in the family, and then we'll move on to the first part of our today's session, which is the question and answer. So after I finish this 5-minute discussion about the subtle benefits of a family, being in a family, then we'll move on to the question and answer, and then later on we'll move on to the relationship between all these topics and how do we bring up a child in this light, so that it is easier for us to understand those aspects as well. So one aspect that I want to discuss now is the karma siddhanta. So what is karma is well understood in our Sanatana Dharma. Our words, thoughts, and deeds, all the three. Please put your mics on mute. So all these three are they have an immediate or a future consequence. So our every thought has a consequence. The thought, ultimately in Bhagavad Gita, it is said that every thought becomes action at some point in time. If you have thought about something, it is sure to become an action. So what to speak about words that you have spoken. Yeah, so words are irretrievable. So once you have spoken it out, then they have a certain consequence on others and on ourselves. And our deeds, actions, definitely have a definitive karmic consequence. So these consequences are sum total called as karma. So it is not a moral. It is a more neutral moral law. I would say it's a more neutral moral law. It is not sitting and deciding you did wrong, you did right, but it is a neutral platform whereupon our action has a certain consequence. So sometimes in today's day and time, we forget the karma siddhanta, mostly in terms of being practical or out of ignorance or simply convenience. Yeah, so we negate or we ignore the entire karma siddhanta aspect in today. So what matters most is is my enjoyment, is my time, space. Yeah, so these things are preceding over many other things such as karma siddhanta or dharma. So how one of the most important principles of karma siddhanta is the intention of the thought, the word and the action matters most than the actual deed or thought or word. So the intention behind it, let me give you an example. So intention, when I'm cooking a meal for my family, my intention could be that out of love for my family, that my family eats a healthy food for their health, for their satisfaction. I want to please them. In this mood, when I'm with this intention, when I'm cooking, then it is said to be a positively accruing in my karmic account. So, but when I'm cooking with in anger, with resentment, रोज ये खाना बनाना पड़ता है मुझे help करने वाला कोई नहीं, with various resentments. I have had a fight with my family members. I don't like my mother-in-law dictating terms or whatever it is. So all these resentments is ordinary karma. You're cooking, but your focus is not there. So it is ordinary karma. And when you're cooking, with the malicious intentions and very wrongful thoughts, then it is a negative karma. You accrue negative karma. So we spoke about akarma, vikarma, karma, akarma, and vikarma. So karma is ordinary consequence. Akarma is something that leads to liberation. There is the inner balance of thought, word, and deed. When there is the inner balance of thought, word, and deed, it does not, external actions don't matter anymore. So a karma platform is that where you are all your karmas are not accruing you negative consequences, not positive. Remember that positive consequence also has a fruit, negative consequence also has a fruit that you need to bear, whereas akarma, no action, inaction, has no fruit. So it liberates you. It liberates you from this material bondage. So according to our accumulated karma, we get a particular type of body. We get a particular type of family. We are born in a particular type of family. We are endowed with certain qualities such as beauty, intelligence, health, etc. Everything according to our past karma, which we called as sanchita. Sanchita karma is the karma that we carry from the past lives. Prarabdha karma is that karma which has fructified and we are enjoying its fruits or bearing its fruits in this lifetime. And agami karma is our current action is getting accumulated in our karmic account, which will have a consequence in the future. So accordingly, we have karma. I spoke to you about karma, akarma, and vikarma. So a little bit about akarma. So when we perform our, how do you do akarma, or how do you know within there is a balance established between word, deed, and action. So I spoke to you about akarma. So a little bit about akarma is when we perform our duty very sincerely. When we perform our duty, A, when we perform it sincerely, B, and when we are not attached to the results, C. So this helps us to be in the akarma platform. So for instance, selfish acts are binding, selfless acts are liberating. So all selfless acts are on the akarma platform. So akarma does not create any kind of karmic bondage. So in this is also explained by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. How do you do your karma? So this is the most famous verse everybody knows. Karmanye vadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phalaheturbhu ma te sangostu vikarmani. Which means that you have the right to perform your karma, but you cannot be attached to or expect the fruits of it. So you cannot be attached to the fruits, which means that you perform your karma, perform it sincerely and perform it selflessly, and leave the rest to him. Leave the rest to God is what we say, right? So leave the rest to him means then we are on the akarma platform. He is helping us to come to the akarma platform. Yeah, so karma, when we perform karma, it purifies the mind. When we perform vikarma, it has a negative consequence. What is the negative consequence? There is suffering, there is bondage. The bond becomes even more tighter to the material world. And akarma is liberating, as I told you. So what is the relationship between dharma and karma? Dharma is the guiding principle. Guiding principle means in the north there is the dharmaka kanta. Whenever you go to a petrol bunk to fill petrol or on the highway, there is the dharmaka kanta. So it reminds me of the guiding principle, the barometer. Yeah. So living our lives in alignment with the truth. This is dharma. Yeah. This is a loose translation. So when we are aligned with this truth, then we are leading our life as per dharma. When we our dharmartha kama moksha, when our artharjan and our kama, our desires are as per dharma. So what is kama as per dharma? Our purvajas, our rishis, they gave us the institution of marriage, grahastha. You can satisfy all your kama vasanas in the grahastha, through the framework of the grahastha. Beyond it, you will have bondage. So fulfill it within the precincts of the grahastha is what they have given us, this framework of ashramas. So ashramas are created. Therefore, dharma. And what is the relationship with karma? Action while living this life produces certain consequences. So the consequences are favorable when we are aligned with the truth or we are aligned with dharma. And then through this, by living such a life within the precincts of the Grahastha, which is the family, we can expect to attain the highest achievable goal, which is the moksha. So just by leading our life as per dharma within the family bounds, yeah, we don't have to go to the Himalayas. Yeah, so this is very much possible. So in the context of family, therefore, these are the subtle benefits. What does the family provide? Family provides us a framework, provides us a platform to attain liberation, even when we are aligned with the truth, which is dharma, when we know our swadharma properly, when our actions, word, action, and thought are aligned with this understanding of what is mine, what will this lead to, what will this action lead to, what will this thought lead to, what will this word lead to. So having consciousness, being a conscious being and leading our life as per dharma and course correcting ourselves, we are gradually progressing, gradually elevating our consciousness to attain even the highest goal of life, which is moksha. So this is what I wanted to touch upon, the subtle aspect of the subtle benefit of living inside a family. So now, since we have covered one topic, if there are questions and answers, we'll take it up. But first, about the subtle benefits, I have a question for all of you, and you can participate now. So what are each one of you have to write down what are some of the qualities that we need to develop in ourselves or display in the family that can help us elevate ourselves. Yeah, so enlist all those qualities which help us elevate ourselves in a family. So please write down. There could be 1, 2, 3, 5, any number of qualities that you can think of which will help you in the family elevate yourselves. Yeah, you could raise your hand once you have those qualities enlisted. Yeah, Aparna ji. Yes, please unmute and speak.
Namaste. So as a part of the homework, as you told, it gave a broader perspective of how we can control. So in finding those answers, I came up with the answer for the questions which you are asking right now. So I think the most important qualities I feel that I should develop so for the smooth running is that manomaya kosha, because that helps the us to understand each and every one better, and it keeps us in a composed place where we can do our swadharma in a more directional way, and we can also contribute by spending more time and talking so that we understand their needs and necessities, because what we may think is important may not be the right thing, but there could be so many gaps which solves by more of talk.
Yeah. So thank you. So each one can enlist one. So Aparna ji said, my own manomaya kosha I need to work upon, and two is understanding the family members through discussion. Yeah. Yoga Vinod ji.
Namaste, ma. I think Seva Bhava is the major one I think contributes for my growth in sir.
Yes. Thank you so much. Seva Bhav. Nice. Supraja ji.
So I'd also written Seva Bhava only because earlier I used to have a lot of ego, and I used to like compete, and I used to like compare, like I'm doing this much, are you doing this for me? But now I realize that the more you give, the more it's better for us. The more we. So Seva Bhava is what I want to improve.
Yeah. Seva Bhav, giving. Yeah. Be in the mode of giving. Yes. Harish Sharma ji.
Sahajta is one thing we should keep.
What is that?
Sahajta.
Sahajta.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Sahaj, being simple or being who you are as it is. Yeah, Sahaj.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
We have to work on the all Koshas.
Neha ji, please raise your hand, whoever wants to speak. Neha ji. You're on mute.
Ji, dhairya. Patience.
Patience. Yes. You're in a family. A lot is demanded of you, so you need to have dhairya or patience.
Ji.
Thank you. Mukesh ji.
We have to work on the all 5 Koshas, and still I'm practicing it, and I'm getting a lot of benefits.
So work on all the 5 koshas. Yeah, thank you. Tanushri ji.
Namaste. I feel I should develop more karuna, because sometimes I feel I expect in the family that they also follow the same path, which is right according to me. Sometimes I should pave that way for others and have more karuna.
Yes.
That's what I want to develop.
Yeah, so we try to measure everybody up against our own scale, our own expectation, and want them to follow that. And then we become very katukaru, means very stone-hearted. Yeah, we want them to follow. So having karuna helps. Nice. Yes. There are some which have come on the chat. Follow the dharma of humanity, consistency. Yeah, what we say today, we should practice consistency, truthfulness, patience, unconditional love, conscious behavior, acceptance, then expectation. Yeah, being happy, feeling blessed, gratitude, spiritual practice, being in the present. Yes, so all of this. So there are some qualities that I thought of are primary, the topmost being selflessness. So remember the goal of life, always keep the goal of life in mind. When we keep the goal of life in mind, everything becomes easier. So the goal of life is for me to liberate myself from this material bondage. So selflessness is of virtue, then selfishness. So seva bhav, as somebody said, seva bhav without expectation, or without motivation for profit, adoration, and prestige. Yeah. So adjustment in the family, there are somebody said that I want everybody to behave in the manner I want them to behave. So I will expect and not adjust. So adjustment without expectation is a virtue. Sacrifice. So sacrifice. How much a mother sacrifices to bring her children up. Yeah. So sacrificing without the feeling of being denied. Yeah. So without feeling that I'm denied of certain privileges, I'm, I want to be equal. You have to participate equally. Instead of that, the feeling sacrificing, selflessly. So this is a virtue in the family. And compromising, compromising without feeling deprived, without of something, without feeling deprived of a benefit of participating in something. So a mother serves everybody first, and then if there is food, then some nice dish she would have prepared. I remember in my childhood, my mother was a very good cook, and she would prepare so lovingly for the entire family, and it would be so good that we wouldn't think whether there is food for the mother or no. We would simply eat, and then mother would never say anything, that keep some for me, today I've heard these words. So then sometimes she would not have anything for herself, so she would eat some leftover rice from yesterday, or such a sacrificing attitude. Today we see less and less of it, and so much compromise of her own health, of her own choices, of her own time, effort, so much. So when we are, but what is the feeling for the child? The feeling for the child is, my mother loves me the most. So, and she can compromise herself, she can sacrifice herself for to bring me up. This feeling is the most important. We need to seed this feeling in our children, so we have to display all these things. I mean, not display as in to show off, but it has to be a natural consequence of our internal goal. One other thing I'm thinking of is forgiveness. Forgiveness, there's a saying that forgiving is divine. So forgiveness without feeling angry. So we might feel angry when something that I thought of does not happen. But then we can mull over it, we can contemplate, and then see the truth, seek the truth in the whole act of mine, and forgive the other. So what comes in handy is our own karma siddhanta, that my grandmother would say that you have beaten him in your past life, therefore he is beating you, so just grin and bear it. So when kids fight, so that's what my grandmother would say, and then she would resolve the fights between us. So the karma siddhanta comes in handy. Lastly, cooperation. In a family there is a lot of cooperation between the father, mother, in-laws, children. There's a lot of cooperation that happens. If one starts feeling that, oh, I'm being taken for granted, then there is very little cooperation. But when we give up this feeling, that I want to cooperate. This is my family. I want to cooperate because I want, I have these goals in my mind for my family, and for myself, the ultimate goal. So when we have these things in our mind, we can automatically realign, readjust our lives in the achievement of the highest goal. So alignment on these aspects are very important. So we open this, the next 10 minutes we'll have question and answers, so that this session we can close and move on to the child needs as per the child development cycle. Questions? Please raise your hand if you have a question of what we have discussed so far, then we'll move on to the next. Yes, Aparna ji.
My question is like, as we do Swadharma for our family, is it possible to do in alignment with Akarma?
Yes, it is possible. So can you give an example when it is difficult? Of course, it is very difficult. This path is very, very difficult. As Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, that it is for example, to control the mind itself is so difficult. It's like the wind, and one cannot, just like one cannot control the wind, one cannot control the desires that flow incessantly, like the river gushes inside the ocean. This is what Krishna says. So it is very difficult, of course. But abhyasena kaunteya. So he says through practice. So this is a very family is the God's gift. So this is the practice ground for all of us, which is available. So we practice until we perfect. So I think every time we make a mistake, to err is human, is what they say. So whenever we are in a difficult situation, we make mistakes. Then at the end of the day, when we rethink the ongoings of that day, and then we have a diary of what are the mistakes I made, how can I improve, what is the replacement of this word, or what do I need to hold back my words, do I need to hold back my action, and what is it that I want to replace the current action with, the current word with, or the current thought with, is what we can do and we can practice. So it's a beautiful gift by God, family, and it allows us mistakes. It allows, absorbs our misactions also to a very large extent, and then there is scope for improvement.
Thank you, Preethi.
Mukesh ji.
We do karma every day, and sometimes we mistakes, and we don't know we are doing mistakes or not, but still we are trying to do the karma every day for many reasons. We are doing, but if you don't know the real dharma, so what is the meaning of the real karma? So how can we differentiate we are doing the right karma according to the dharma? Jeevan.
Yeah. So I explained in the last session that I wear different hats, which means in a family, I have different roles. I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm a daughter, I'm aunt. So each of these roles have its own swadharma. For example, as a daughter, what is my swadharma? My swadharma is to serve my parents, is to listen to them, is to do their paricharya, for instance. So there is a list of responsibilities for myself as a daughter. There's a list of responsibilities for me as a mother, list of responsibilities as a wife. So that is very clear. It's very clearly given out. So ignorance cannot be a alibi. It cannot be an alibi for us to keep repeating our mistakes. Yeah. So whenever we are in doubt, our inner conscience is the one which tells us that no, you did wrong. अनावश्यक गुस्से हो गए, अनावश्यक आपने गलत बात कर दी. ऐसे हमारा अंदर का जो अंतरात्मा बोलते हैं ना, कॉन्शियंस, वो बोलता है. जब वो बोलता है तो उसको सुनना है. उसको सुन के हमारे वर्ड्स को या हमारे एक्शंस को हम सुधार सकते हैं. जब हम सुधारेंगे, then we are elevating ourselves. Otherwise, उसको सुन के भी अगर अनसुना कर दिया तो we are binding ourselves. But the bondage gets thicker and there is more suffering. Remember, karma is a reflection. It comes back to us. Karma, every karma that we do comes back to us. It's a reflection of ourselves. So therefore, we have to be extremely cautious with respect to this karma siddhanta.
And sometimes we lies also for good things also. If some society is doing the wrong, if you say one wrong things, the society will be like in good position. So on that condition, we should say lie or not, because it comes under the situations. You have to say lie in that circumstances.
We will respect it to the family right now. So within the family, I think there is very little scope for not telling the truth. I think to tell the truth, it takes a lot of courage. Yeah, to tell the worst thing that you have done as it is takes a lot of courage. Yeah, at least you need to confide in somebody that मैंने गलत सोचा, मैंने गलत किया. ऐसे अगर किसी को, अपने पति को, पत्नी को, भाई को, बहन को, माता पिता, somebody you have to confide in.
जी, thank you.
Ramchandra ji.
Namaste ji. By doing karma, how we can get liberate?
Yes, I spoke to you about akarma. This platform of akarma is when we are doing our duty very sincerely without the expectation of result. Krishna has told in the Bhagavad Gita, karmanye vadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. So you cannot expect the fruit of the result of your karma. So without getting attached to the fruit of the karma, when you keep executing your responsibilities or your duties within the bounds of the family or the society, the nation at large, then you are on the akarma platform. Akarma platform, as I told you, is the when the acts are out of seva bhava, seva manovritti, or when the act is selfless, then it becomes a karma platform. When there is when our mentality is what's in it for me, or when I'm seeking benefit for myself, when I'm seeking something, there is some motivation for fame, prestige, or pratishtha. So all these things are binding. So I enlisted a few of the values that we can inculcate within ourselves: seva vritti, selflessness, anasakti. So then internally we are detached. The moment we realize from inside that we are detached from every bondage, then we are on a karma platform. ठीक है रामचंद्र जी?
Yeah, thank you, sister. You said indirectly we should not have to think about result.
Yoga Vinod ji?
Namaste, ma. Ma, you mentioned that fulfilling the basic needs like kama, artha should be done in the framework of grahastha. So what does that mean? Can you please elaborate more?
Yes. So
why only the framework of grahastha?
There need not necessarily be only grahastha. It is the 4 ashramas. There is the brahmacharya ashram, the grahastha ashrama, the vanaprastha, and the sannyasa ashrama. So when you are following any one of these ashramas, within the boundaries, within the framework of that ashrama, when you are trying to fulfill your kama and artha, then we are as per dharma. We are acting as per dharma.
How do we know the boundary? Like, if in every like, how do we understand what is the boundaries of particular ashrama?
Yeah, it is enlisted, very clearly. So, what is the dharma of a brahmachari? For example, a brahmachari has to follow celibacy until what do you call it? Celibacy until his completion of his adhyayana or studies, education, and he has to. There is the discipline of waking up at a certain time, sleeping at a certain time, and what kind of words that he's using, what kind of seva bhava he has. All these are the rules for a brahmachari. Grahastha ashrama allows for artharjana, is to earn money or and fulfill kama, which is desires. So within the grahastha ashrama, within the bounds of the husband and wife, there is the fulfillment of kama, and so the rule is that there is no going out of the ashrama, out of the marriage to fulfill your kama. You have to fulfill the kama within the sacred boundaries of the marriage. So these are the rules. Yoga Vinodji?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Any other question? Okay, so if there are, yeah, Ramchandra ji.
Yeah, sister, according to Bhagavad Gita, we should not have to think about karma. But why some great elders, given that what we saw, that we reap like that?
Huh? I did not understand. What
we saw, that we reap. Like our great elders given some like examples like that. What we pour the seed, it will grow like tree. Like that. Why they given such examples for karma?
Yeah, because it is nobody else but your own action that leads you to bear the fruit of enjoy or suffer the fruit of your own action. So therefore, as you sow, so you reap.
Yeah, but we have to feel that whatever we reap in action, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that is we can say that karma phala, right?
Yeah.
How that karma phala will end means without reforming that karma, any karma.
I'm sorry, I'm not able to understand your question.
Means my question is how to do not create any karma for means by repeatedly what we saw that we reap, how we can get liberated for me got like that doubt.
Yeah, so it's not a very simple path, Ramchandraji. You're right. It is very difficult. So therefore, it takes lifetimes to understand and to come to this point of akarma. And it takes a great deal of spiritual realization to come to that platform. And sadhana is something which can be, our yoga siddhanta gives us the paths of yoga, yeah, which is yama, niyama, ahara, pratyahara, dharana, samadhi, up till samadhi. Yeah? So people in samadhi sthiti are able to be on the akarma platform. So we must realize that there is a long way to go. So just by thinking for 5 minutes that my action is it fine, is it fine, is it fine. So one has to develop this mindfulness. To develop mindfulness, to be in the present, it takes a great deal of effort. So sadhana comes handy. Yeah. So whether you are a karma yogi, bhakti yogi, or a jnana yogi, so all these you invest that time in your sadhana, and then gradually you elevate. So gradually one comes to the platform of akarma. One cannot, without one cannot negate the sanchita karma just in a flash. It can happen when you are in samadhi sthiti, but in the ordinary course of time, we have to uh, reap the karma phala of our sanchita karma, of our prarabdha, which we are undergoing. Yeah, and then our current action is also giving us agami karma, future karma. Also, we are sowing that seed today. So therefore, it is a very complex structure. It's very, very complex. So to simplify it means to become simple in our own lives. So when we become simple in our own lives, have less and less and less expectation, give more and more and more, become less and less selfish, become more and more selfless, become more patient, become more, have all those virtues and less vices, and become sthita prajna. So Arjuna asks Krishna, Sthita Prajnascha ka bhasa, means who is Sthita Prajna? Arjuna, you think Arjuna does not know who is Sthita Prajna, but he's asking so that we know exactly who is Sthita Prajna. So when we know, yeah, we have to read, we have to know. Knowledge is empowering. So when we have that knowledge, we are able to be situated on that platform. Otherwise, it's very difficult. Anilji, we'll move on to the next question.
If you could explain a bit more about akarma, not able to follow. Like, see, if I'm doing something to get punya also, will it disqualify for becoming a akarma, or because we do things without expecting anything in return, but
yes.
we see that we are getting punya for it, right? We do certain things in life.
Yes. So I will very, very briefly answer this. So the intention of the karma matters. As I explained, how am I cooking? I gave this example of what is the intention behind my cooking. So we might see food on the table, but with what intention has the grahini cooked? So that matters, and that goes into the karmic account of hers. So papa and punya are not very simple things. Yeah. So punya, when we accrue, for example, when we do seva, Bhagavad Seva, for example, when we are doing Bhagavad Seva, there also, what is the intention? Have I gone to the temple asking something from God? Yeah, or without any expectation that my life is for your service. What is the intention behind my action? That defines the our what we accrue. Yeah, Nilji. So more about a karma platform. I think Bhagavad Gita is there for all of us. We must read it up. Where fourth chapter has very detailed account of what is karma, what is akarma, vikarma, and how do we situate ourselves. So all these things are explained. There is Rabi ji who has said, yeah, some. So
that
we
is
move on to. Yes. So I thought there is a question, but there is a verse from. Yeah. So we move on to the next part of our session, which is how do we then bring up our children. So this was a very important base I wanted to establish, because without understanding of the self, without understanding of my own swadharma, my responsibilities towards my family and my own karma siddhanta, yeah, so it becomes very difficult for us to, once this base is established, then we can build on top of the understanding, we can build on top of it. So when we so imagine when we have this understanding very clearly, and we are following the life as per dharma, what is the, and we are developing these qualities, we are improving, we are elevating ourselves, we are leading a very conscious life, then what is the implication of such a person on the child? So the child benefits, yeah, the child feels that, imagine there is a sacrificing mother, there is a selfless mother. What does the child feel? Yeah, the child feels loved. The child feels that I belong here. The child will have natural love for his mother, will naturally come and ask, Mummy, can I help you? What do you want me to do? Yeah, so we draw children towards ourselves by behaving in this manner. Yeah, the child feels cared for, loved. So we don't have to strive. When we are on the right path, when we are leading we are treading the path of dharma, we have the karma siddhanta very clearly understood in our mind, and we are trying to follow those principles. So then our role, performing our role becomes very, very easy. So childhood has three parts to it: the Shishu Avastha, the Bal Avastha, and the Kishore Avastha. Each Avastha has a different need. So the Shishu Avastha, when the child is a small, just born till about 5 years, it is not independent, it is dependent on the parent. So it has certain needs. It wants love, attention, it wants somebody to care for it. Yeah, the motherly love outpours, fatherly love pours on the child. So the child wants love. So the principle of how to raise a child is given by Acharya Chanakya: lalayet panchavarshani dashavarshani tadayet prapte shodashe varshe putram netre samacharit. What does it mean? In Shishu Avastha, Lalan means to love the child. We need to love the child, care for the child, and provide for the child, and look at the child as the king, as the queen of our family. And does this mean that we cannot discipline the child? We cannot say no to the child? Yes, we cannot say no to the child. The child's every demand has to be fulfilled, every legitimate demand, not illegitimate demand. So but we catch the child through rhythms. So we need to, in this early childhood, we need to set their rhythms. So waking up rhythm, sleeping rhythm, eating home cooked food, eating with the family, and things like not spilling food, things like we involve the child in every household activity. In the God's room, we need to teach the child how do we pray. There is natural attraction for the child. If we are ringing the bell, the child wants to come and ring the bell, wants to do aarti, wants to sit like the father in the prayer hall in the God's room, wants to bring flowers. And so we engage the child in every activity. In the kitchen, we involve the child. Yeah, the child, because there are two natural principles for a child: curiosity, jigyasa, and two is growth. Growth is happening. Therefore, external education, external pressures, force is not put on the child in Shishu Avastha. So no external force, and allowing the jigyasa to be satisfied, allowing the curiosity to be satisfied. This is the principle of Shishu Avastha. So, and we catch the child through rhythms. We provide very good rhythms: rhythm of waking up, sleeping, eating, and playing. So all these rhythms are provided. So, and a very happy childhood experience is given to the child. How do we give the happy childhood experience? By loving the child, by doting on the child, by playing with the child, by telling the child stories, by telling the child songs, singing songs for the child, by taking the child out for walks, climbing trees, splashing mud. So there are so many things that gives happiness to children. So we do all those things. Then Tadayet Dashavarshani. I'm going a little fast because I'm aware of the time. Tadayet Dashavarshani means disciplining the child. This is the phase of disciplining. So the next 10 years, up till from 6 to 12, we have to, 6 to 16, we have to discipline the child. So what do you mean by disciplining the child? Disciplining the child means there are 4 sayamas: Artha Sayama, Vani Sayama, Samay Sayama. What does Artha Sayama mean? Artha Sayama means the child must know how much to possess. The lesser the possessions, the better the discipline of the child. So the child cannot have too many possessions. Yeah, remember, childhood time is brahmachari ashram. So very few possessions. How many possessions did brahmacharis in the past have? Very few. Yeah. So just 2 sets of clothes and 1 pen or 1 pencil. That's about it. So as little possessions as possible. This helps the child be disciplined. Artha Sayama, not splurge on the child. Before the child asks for, the child has 3 sets of tricycles and the fourth bicycle is arriving. Not like that. Skateboard is there, this is there, that is there, all the gadgets are there. Don't splurge. This is not the time to give the child. This is to take away from the child, so that the child knows how to lead one's life. Yeah, these are very deep values that we are sowing in the child. Vani Sayam, how to speak, what not to speak. So there has to be a grandmother, there has to be a father who has to correct the child. This is not how you speak to elders. This is how you speak. This is how you touch the feet of elders when they come. Yeah, so we teach them Vani Sayama, no using unnecessary words. Children are constantly jabbering and parents are oblivious of it. So what are these words for? Correct the child. Yeah, this is the time to correct the child, not very harshly, not rudely, but lovingly. Yeah, so we have to become the loving authority, not providing too many choices to children. No choice. This is the phase where there is no choice. Who is the authority? Mother and father is the authority in this phase. Who decides for the child? What the child wears, what the child eats, what the child does, everything is decided by the parents. Why? Because we know best. Mummy knows best. What you should eat, mummy knows best. What you should wear, this is what you will wear. Why? Because I say so. No choice. So give as little choices. So withdrawal from the choices also has to be very organic. If you have already given too many choices, then the child has already taken authority from you. So to take back the authority from the child has to be a gradual process. So otherwise it will hurt the relationship. So the time of, there is the banking concept. Yeah, banking concept is you invest in the bank so that you'll withdraw later. This is the period of withdrawal. What was the period of investment? Shishu Avastha was the period of investing in love, care. Why? Because now you want to withdraw. What is withdrawal? The child has to follow your instruction. What is the instruction? Sleeping at a particular time, waking up at a particular time for play, a particular time for reading, studying. So this is Samay Sayam, Artha Sayam, Vani Sayam. So when the child is understands all these sayamas, then automatically the child is disciplined. So doing household work, for example, how do we include a child? This is the phase when we have to include the child in every household activity. The child has to know how to sweep the house, how to dust the house, how to arrange things in the kitchen, fold his clothes, wash his clothes, dry the clothes. Has to be sensitive. If it's raining, one has to bring the dried clothes inside the house. All these things. Yeah. So it's a time for training and disciplining the child. Whose responsibility is it? It is the mother and father's responsibility. So Samay Sayam, Artha Sayam, Vani Sayam, and Swad Sayam. Swad Sayam. So Swad Sayam means not having some rules. What are the rules? Jo banega, we had this family rule. Jo banega, wo sabko khana padega. So whatever the mummy makes with love, everybody eats it. There is no question of I don't like this. No wasting food. There can't be food remaining on the plate. And Swad Sayam means not giving too many substances that titillate the senses of the child. Giving Satvika Ahara, for example. There is the Ahara in Satvika, Rajasika and Tamasika, these three modes. So giving the child Satvika Ahara is Swadasayama, not buying McDonald's burger or ordering Domino's pizza every other day, but cooking at home, Satvika Ahara. How do we convert the food to even more better? By offering it Naivedya and accepting it as prasada, Bhagavad prasada. Then it becomes even more better, because remember, why do we want the child to have Swadasayama? Because the fine brain tissues are developing in this phase, and the more Satvika Ahara, the more Swadasayama the child has, the better brain tissues are developing, and more Satvika Vicharadhara is promoted. What we jaisa an vaisa man. So what we eat, the child becomes that. So Annamaya Sharira becomes developed whatever the food has been taken in. There are no vikrutis that come in when the ahara is satvika. Okay, so vikrutis in all the four has to be avoided. Vikrutis are deviations. Deviations in arthasayama, giving the child too many clothes, giving the child too many toys, giving the child too many stationery items, too many color pencils, gifts. So all this is not needed in the childhood. So Sayama, when the child shows some uddandatana, then there has to be punishment. Punishment means it has to be already decided between the child and the father or the mother that you have to follow these rules. Breaking the rules means there is a fine. What is the fine? Bad words, you have to eat 2 neem leaves, go and apologize to the person. So these days in apartments, I've seen that when the child has done something wrong, also the parents go and fight with the neighbors, and they say, how dare you scold my child like that? So earlier I remember, if I did wrong or if I did right, if a neighbor complained, my father would scold me. So what does it do? It makes the child humble. Yeah, it makes the child know that this is not the way to deal with, behave or talk to elders. Remember, the neighbor is also an elder, right? So how do you train the child? By taking up these opportunities to correct the child with behavior. So there is loving authority, and when there is uddandatana, we show our harshness too, to the child. So the child has to, one is the discipline of waking, sleeping, eating, playing, Samaysayam, Swadsayam, Vanisayam and Arthasayam. Then we have to teach household karyas. All the household activities have to be learned by the child. To repair something, to put the bulb, to clean up everything. Everything must be taught. And then how to deal with family members, behavioral training, and then how to tolerate hunger, for example, how to tolerate heat, how to tolerate cold, how to tolerate and enjoy rain. Tolerate and enjoy. First tolerate and then tolerate and enjoy. So all these things must be taught in this phase of childhood. So there's a lot to learn. Yeah. Then the child has also got to learn the things that can elevate his consciousness. Yeah. To engage the child in devotional service, to engage the child in chanting Bhagavad Gita, chanting verses of Vishnu Sahasranam, Rudram, Chamakam. There are so many things that the child can learn. Yeah. So propelling the child's propensities in the right direction, in the help developing Sattvikate in the child, so that the child takes up the cause of dharma in the future life. Remember, we are not katukas, we are not stone-hearted people. We have the best intention for the child. And with those intentions, we are giving what we can give best to our children. So, and then Prapte Shodashe Varshe. Once we have trained the child in this manner, then when the child is about 16, the Viveka blossoms. Viveka means, I know I've overshot the time, but I'll just conclude. Viveka is the sense of discrimination between what is right and what is wrong. This sense of discrimination, when the child gets, then the child is Vivekavan. When that has happened, then Putram Mitre Samacharit. So we have to deal the child as a friend. Treat the child as a friend. What does it mean? It means that we include the child in our discussions, have discussions with the child, not give directives, not give instructions. Now is the time to discuss. Now is the time to have samvada. Now is the time to include the child in decision making, include the child in, sounding off to the child the problems of the house, and seeking solutions from the child who has his own sense of thinking. Yeah. So in this way, listen to the child. Yeah, listen to the child non-judgmentally. So all these things are important to develop a very healthy relationship with a child who is grown up now. Yeah, has passed the stage of being Kishore and is entering Yuva Avastha. So in this way, each childhood phase has a different need, and if we are tuned to the phase properly, then we are doing it right by the child, and such a child becomes a positive contributor in the society. Does not become a consumer, but becomes a contributor. And this must be our goal. The goal has to be to direct the child towards Satvikate, because that promotes good thoughts, that promotes a child who is rightly situated in dharma, a child who can think for the betterment of the family, betterment of the self, betterment of the family, betterment of the society and nation at large. So these are, if we have to produce these kinds of children, then we have to train them in this manner. So I think we will stop here. If there are one or two questions, we will take those questions. Otherwise, we can close. So actually, I wanted to, there are these three phases of childhood. There is the need of each phase. When it is most well complemented, when we have our own lives, we lead our own lives as per our swadharma, as per the principles of karma. When we have understood that so well, then there is absolutely no gharshaning, there is no conflict. There is smooth sailing family life. So there are two hands which have gone up. Swati ji. Swati ji, you're not audible. We'll move to Harish ji.
Yeah, so is there any need to teach discipline in Shishu Avastha also?
Shishu Avastha, no disciplining, only love, care, and all kinds of discipline is got through rhythms. So everything becomes playful. Yeah. So we playfully wake up the child at the right time. We playfully put the child to sleep at the right time, at the same time every day. So it becomes, everything becomes play. Yeah. So the child is fed food at the right time playfully. Yeah. So by showing Chanda Mama, by showing the dog, kitten, playing the ganti, whatever it takes. So the rhythms, the body rhythms have to be set. So how do we set it? With love, care, with play. What is available to us in that way. So not,
got it.
Not from external, by telling the child. Telling the child comes during the, so once those rhythms, body rhythms are set, then the child it becomes natural for the child. So we have that much less effort. It takes that much less effort during the Balavastha.
Balavastha.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Supraja.
Am I audible?
Yeah, Swati ji, if you are speaking, you're audible.
So from Shishovastha to Balavastha, when we have to discipline the child from the constant love and the playfulness, how do we transition to the to being a bit stricter? Like, will the child take it easily? How do we do it playfully with respect?
Not only you are changing your ways to handle the child. For example, if you're, do you still put diaper on the child when the child already knows how to control his bladder or go to potty? No, right? So in the similar way, the child is developing. A developing child's need has become different. So you also become you stay the same, right? You have seen the child growing. The child is growing, but your way of handling the child becomes different. You don't tell the a youth, your child who's a youth, you don't tell him to button, you have to put button like this, you have to put the shirt like this. You don't tell those things because he already knows all those things. Yeah. So therefore, that time of playfully giving the discipline has passed by. So there is a slow transition, gradual transition. Transitions cannot be harsh, and it's not like switching on light and switching it off. It has to be a gradual. Yeah, when you switch off the fan, it takes a while for the fan to come to a standstill, right? So like that, we have to, it has to be a gradual shift. You understand that the child, there is the summer holidays, right? Before the child comes to first grade. So then there is a gradual shift. So we tell the child that after the summer holidays, you will come to first grade. From that time onwards, we will have to wake up at this time. We'll have to sleep at this time. So this is how we tell the child. And then we'll have to start following it. So make the child wake up, make the child lovingly. You don't have to be harsh. Yeah. So when we do it lovingly, and when does the child show extreme resistance? When the child already has inculcated bad set of habits. And that's when the resistance is the most. That's when you have to work on yourself, being more and more patient and help the child redo the habits.
Okay, understood.
Yes, Suprajaji. This is the last question.
So in the future session, I would like to understand and learn what is prescribed for an ideal family dinacharya and ritucharya. There are certain things that are specific to each paramparas and each kulas, but in general, like when to wake up, there is all that, but still like when to do kolam, what is the ideal thing that is prescribed for a joint family setting? If that could be explained, would be great.
There's a question, how can we teach tolerance in a child? Yeah, by some of these values are caught and not taught. Remember I spoke about how to role model yourself. So when the mother is tolerant, the child learns that aspect of tolerance from you. So many things cannot be taught. So when the child says, I'm so hungry, Amma, how much more time will you take? Yeah. So first we tell the child, you have to speak gently to the mother. So how do we speak? Do we speak like this to each other? No, we speak very lovingly. And then it's okay to be a little hungry. Feel, tell me what all is happening in the stomach. So make it a game, or become a creative parent. So then the child learns to tolerate. So now I want you to learn how to tolerate this hunger, because you may need to be hungry for a long time. What will you do then when mommy is not there? So sometimes we can explain, sometimes we want the child to understand the so when the hand of the clock comes to 15 more minutes, then the food will be ready. So then we will all eat. So till then, what are the options that you can do? Till then, you can finish this homework, you can fold those clothes. Yeah. So or you could go out and play, or you could water the plants, something. So teaching tolerance does not mean that we are inside it's a real life situation. So as the situation is, then we come up with creative answers. So I think with this, we will stop now. Of course, we could have had a lot more discussions. So in the future sessions, we will have many more such topics, and we'll have more discussions. So thank you for your attendance and patience. So what I would like each one of you is to take back some learnings from here and apply it in your own lives, in your own families, and then let us move towards a progressive society. Thank you very much. Namaste. We'll end with the Shanti Mantra.
Dhanyawad.
Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Dhanyawada. Ram Ram.
धन्यवाद अक्का ram ram